Trenton Journal is for people who won't take no for an answer. Trenton Journal is for community leaders. Trenton Journal is for people who won't settle. Trenton Journal highlights some of the positive voices in the community and fills in the information gaps through original reporting.
Welcome to Capital Conversations. I'm your host, Kenneth Miles, founder and publisher of the Trenton Journal. Each episode, we bring you change makers and leaders, such as today's guest right here, John Dockery, founder and owner of Moja Life in Trenton. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you too, brother. You know what I mean? So for those who are not familiar with you, are you like the first cannabis dispensary in Trenton owner?
First legal adult use cannabis dispensary in Trenton, New Jersey.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
To say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the first open dispensary because it was a medical dispensary here that was open prior to maybe a couple months prior to me. So, but they were medical, and I was the first recreational use adult use dispensary.
And you've been open for how long? About
17 months now.
17 months. And you told me that I was one of your first, and I was the first interview
Absolutely.
that you had
Absolutely.
beforehand. So 17 months later, what has life been like for you?
It has ups and downs. My first 6 months in this industry was extremely, after opening. Prior to opening was difficult also, but when she got to opening, you kind of like get like a sigh of relief, and it seemed like my old problems went away, but I inherited so many new problems. Being a private owned company, I don't have any big backing from other dispensaries or other outside investors. So opening and not doing well when opening kind of really hurt me. I didn't have a big budget, so I was just doing it with from here to there. My first 6 months was extremely slow. I was just telling someone a couple days ago that what I used to do in a month, I might do that in 3 days now. So that's how slow. 8, 9 people would come into my store a day, and I had, to make payroll at the end of the week with 10 employees. It was extremely hard.
Wow. So, but what you're doing right now, if you were to look back, would you change anything? And if so, what would you change?
Now that I'm in this, in a space where it's a little bit of comfort, I would. Because I think from the beginning, I learned so much from not opening up and just like succeeding, like just, door busters, like 200 people coming in a day, 300 people coming in a day. I learned so much from, those slow days. I learned so much about just my surroundings and how to, navigate through this business. So now that I'm here, if you'd asked me that 6 months ago, yeah, I would have changed a lot. It'd have been a doorbuster, right? But now, no, I learned so much. And not only that, I have friends that are coming in now, right, that are coming on board now. They've only been open 6 months. They're in that first 6 months, where it's either you're going to sink or you're going to swim. And I give them so much knowledge that I learned from those 6 months. I just feed into them. Just, hey, listen. Don't panic. Don't go crazy. Don't drive yourself crazy. It's going to be slow. This is what you can do to kind of speed up your process. It's a lot of sharks in this industry that say, hey, we can get you 300 people a day. Just sign up for this program, or we'll do this marketing, we'll do this advertising for you, whatever the case may be, right? And it didn't work. I spent tons of money. I spent $40,000, $50,000 on advertising that didn't pan out to do absolutely nothing for me in the beginning. So I would, I'll be able to give that. So my question is, no, I would have went the same way that it went.
The way you're supposed to go in hindsight, right?
Absolutely.
What is it like being a business owner in downtown Trenton? Do you get support from the city?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I get a lot of support from the city. You know, they all reach out to me. Everybody, especially Warren Street. Warren Street is kind of our own community inside of a community, we call it. You know, some of us, you know, label it as Black Wall Street.
Really?
Absolutely,
Okay.
because we have so many Black-owned businesses on Warren Street. We have Ginger Peach that's coming. We have Much Better Studios. We have Bicoastal. We have the Skillet. We have Sunrise. We have Arley's. These are all Black-owned businesses, you know, and we're all right here on one street. So we all lean on each other, you know. We all cross-promote. We all lean on each other. We're tight, you know. So the city also gravitates to us, you know. So it's a beautiful thing over there.
Well, what are some of the challenges of being downtown Trenton? Because I hear about the parking.
Parking.
Is that the number one issue?
The number one issue. And even though we do have these parking garages, people are just, you know, I want to pull up and right in the front and get out. And sometimes I'm the problem with the parking because I have people, you know, double parked halfway up the street and they're like, well, ain't nowhere else to park at, you know, and they all got their hazards on and stuff. So it's parking for us, you know. I give free parking to all my customers if they use the parking garage on Front Street. So, but parking is probably the number one problem.
All right. So how did you become the first?
Well, I was one of the first 11 in the state.
Okay. The first in Trenton.
How did I be? Well, I was one of the first 11 in the state to get a conditional license from the state. Mm-hmm. So I had a 45-day run on anybody that came after me already. So, I mean, I think when I was tracking it back then, like who was getting these conditional license, I got mine May 6, 2022. No one else got a conditional license in Trenton 6 months after that. No one. I mean, we had a couple of medical ones that had license here, but no one had a recreational license. So I had a big space in between anybody that was going to come after me. And that's kind of like, you know, I did the application. I crossed off all the boxes. You know, it was a tedious application. And I scored high on it, and I was one of the first 11 in the state.
Did someone assist you with the application process?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to pay someone to help me write the application. So that was my first big money that I spent in the industry. I ended up paying someone about $20,000 to help me with my application.
And what made you decide to get into the cannabis industry?
Well,
legally.
I'm from the legacy side, so It was a no-brainer to me. It was like, why am I still, you know, selling weed like on the streets, right? When I can do it now legally, safer, you know. I don't have to stash weed in the stash house. I don't have to hide my money at my auntie house, right? I could literally have a bank account and run a legit business, something that I can show my child, you know, something, you know, I could be proud of, my family could be proud of, my city could be proud of, you know. I could have did this anywhere else. In New Jersey, I was one of the first 11 in the state. I could have went South Jersey, I could have went North Jersey. I wanted to do this here in Trenton to show people that it can be done, to show younger people. I mean, a lot of young people look up to me. I'm from Trenton, born and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah, so a lot of the guys look up to me from when I used to be in the streets. So now it's something for them to say, like, I can be a business owner. I don't have to be a drug dealer, a rapper. It's other avenues that I can choose to do instead of doing this.
How do you compare the legacy side to the side you're in right now?
There's no difference. There's no difference. I feel like if you're a hustler, you're a hustler. You know, the only difference on this side is that everything's binding by a contract. That's it. I mean, in the streets, it is too. If I say I'm going to take something from you, I shake your hand, say I'm going to pay you back on Friday. That's, you know, that was a contract. But now it's just you sign your name to it. It's really no difference. And I think that was my biggest hurdle. I used to think so corporate about it. Like, oh, well, I have to sell it for this amount of money. I have to do it this way because this is what the other corporate people are doing. No, I can do it my way. You know?
What do you say to some of the critics who feel that a cannabis dispensary may not be good in Trenton? Did you get any pushback
Well,
before opening?
it's sort of, kind of, but it was just the lack of not knowing, the lack of knowledge. That once you start talking to people, they start saying, you know what, you're right. We do need this. What some people don't understand that don't know about cannabis is that the cannabis that I sell is all tested. Everything comes with a COA, which is a certificate of analysis. So everything has been checked for mold, it's been checked for sprays, it's been checked for anything that can be harmful to the body. Now, the difference between that and the street weed is no testing with street weed. We don't know if it's sprayed, we don't know if it has mold, we don't know if it has feces. There's so many different things that we don't know. It comes in a bag, it doesn't come with any certificates of analysis, and people sell it. So people are ingesting stuff that they don't really know exactly what's in it. I mean, it can look like weed, but you don't have a microscope in front of you. You can't see if it's mold on there. You can't see if it's feces on there. You can't see if somebody sprayed something on there and let it dry and still looks the same, So once I start to explain to people, like, this is safe cannabis. This is cannabis that you know exactly what you're consuming. There's no gummy in the market right now that's 500 milligrams. Each gummy is 10 milligrams, and it's going to be exactly 10 milligrams. So you're not going to have this overdose effect. So many different variables why dispensary cannabis, like why we need safe cannabis here in Trenton. Trenton has abundance of what we consider pop-up shops, where they're open air selling cannabis out of a storefront. They're not dispensaries. They're just places where people go buy weed at. None of that stuff there comes with a COA.
What kind of products do you sell? Do you sell gummies? I sell different strains.
I sell about 50 different strains of cannabis. I sell a bunch of type of edibles, gummies, chocolates, cookies, brownies. I sell topicals, things that if you're having like joint pains, you can just rub them to your joints. It does not have a high effect feel to it, but it's a pain reliever, which is 100% organic, that comes from the plant. We sell vape carts. We sell anything that you can possibly think of. Pretty much that has pertained to cannabis, we sell there.
Are you thinking about any other locations?
Well, actually, I'm vertically integrated right now. So I have a cultivation that I'm building out in South Jersey and Millville. So I'll be able to grow cannabis there and sell cannabis at retail stores here across the state. Not just my store, but
not just your store.
Other stores too. This
is what I want to know. The cannabis community as it pertains to Trenton, how close are you guys? Because there are other dispensaries, right? In Trenton, or I know
just one.
Just one.
Yeah, Theory Wellness.
Theory Wellness. I've been here before. We wrote an article about them in the Trenton Journal, and there is talk about another one that's opening up.
Toke Lane. Yeah.
Do you guys talk? Are you friends? Like, what is the relationship like with those in the industry?
Well, those guys are MSOs. So
what does that mean?
Multi-state operators.
Okay.
So they're not like, I'm a mom and pop spot. I'm not, I don't know how, you're from Trenton.
No, so, I'm Jersey City. I live in Trenton now.
Okay, how long you lived in Trenton?
5 years.
5 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, we used to have a hardware store that used to sit on Olden Avenue right outside of 7-Eleven. It was called Blake's Hardware Store. Mm-hmm. It was like a mom and pop spot. So if people from Trenton is going to know exactly what I mean. But Blake had everything. Blake, you go in there, the people at Blake. It was a homey feeling. But then one day, Home Depot came maybe 2 miles up the road, and slowly Blake slowed down. So I would be the Blake, and these guys would be like the Home Depots of the industry, Theory Wellness, because they have other operations in other states. I mean, they're big. So, as of Toke Lane. So I'm really the homegrown, straight, grassroots, mom and pop spot.
So talk about the importance of supporting local.
I know the city. I know what the city needs. I'm more in tune and in depth. My family's from here. My friends are from here. I deal with the city. I'm a Trentonian through and through. You know, I'm passionate about it. I sometimes not say anything they don't, but it's a disconnect. You know, I feel as though that you have to be here or amongst us to understand us. That'll be the difference between me and.
I'm glad you explained that because I didn't know the difference, but I'm just wondering with them being MSOs, multi-state operators, with them coming here and you being the first, did they reach out to you and say, hey, you know, how can we help each other?
No.
Okay.
And they won't.
Okay.
They lean on each other. They lean on their partners in Massachusetts. They lean on their partners in New York. It's corporate there, you know? I'm not corporate. I'm not part of the corporate world of theirs. I'm just in the game, I guess. You know, I got skin in the game, and I'm just not corporate. I mean, it's understandable. They're a business. They want their business to thrive also. They're not going to reach out to me and say, hey, how can I help you? You know, we're attracting the same people, you know. Walmart and Lowe's don't say, or Home Depot wouldn't have never went to Blake and say, hey, you know, we make $1 million a month. How can we help you that make $90,000 a month? You know, how can we help you make 200? They're not going to do that. They're going to want you to go out of business so they can get your $90,000 that you make a month. You know, so that's exactly how it is.
So, who's your typical customer? Are they people who live in the city? Are these repeats? Are these people who you've cultivated relationships throughout the years?
Yeah, I'm a Trentonian, so. You know, they know, you know, John as having a dispensary downtown. So they support, state workers support, Pennsylvania residents are big supporters. That's my demographics. And the thing is that I try to make it affordable for people in Trenton. I don't, you know, I'm a small shop. So, of course, also I have not the big overhead that everybody has. I don't have a big board. I don't have all these people I have to pay and, I don't have all that stuff. So the thing is I try to make it more affordable for my people. And that was the big issue that I had. The cannabis wasn't affordable for the people to come in. It's like, why am I going to come in and spend this amount of money and I can still go on the streets and spend half of that? Even though it's not safe, but I've been smoking it my whole life, right? So who's to say that's not safe now because you're open? So I just had to make it more affordable for the people. And
I remember you being at city council meetings before the shop even opened. So I haven't had the opportunity to go inside, but what is it like for those who have not been there? Is it like, do you have a place where people would sit down, or is it how many floors?
You know what I get? Because the way the regulations are made, that you cannot look in from the outside.
Yeah, because it seems mysterious. Like when I go by, it's like a club. Like what's behind? Like for real? Yeah. I get that vibe.
That's the rule. Like you cannot look inside. It's for kids. They don't want kids to look inside and see, whatever, right? But once you get inside, people are always amazed once they walk inside. Very much so. It's very state of the art. I used to have a robot that used to walk around inside, but people would get too attached to this robot, and want to sit there and hold like these long conversations with the robot and see the robot do multiple different things that this robot does. But it's really nice. I have really nice.
So you fired the robot.
I fired the robot.
Okay, so you're doing something different because now you got people hiring robots to get rid of people, but you did the opposite, right?
Because it was a mixture of things. Some people was creeped out about it, like what, like you know what I mean? And it's like the robot just gave you educational stuff, you know what I mean? It kind of like rolled around on the floor. But a lot of people, it was like a 50-50 split. People were kind of creeped out about it, and people were like, but then there was the people that used to come there and just want to sit there too long with the robot. So it was like, it's time to fire the robot. But it's really nice, very elegant. It's one of the best looking shops in the state for the micro. It's on 2 different floors. My second floor is like a showroom, which we consider a dispensary, where it has like a live bud bar where you can actually go and look at the cannabis before you purchase it. We have TVs all the way across the wall that gives you educational stuff, shows you my journey. LED lights everywhere. It's pretty nice murals on the wall. And on the first floor is order pickup, which most people come in now, and that's how they do, because most people are working. Most people are coming into the city, and they have other things to do. They don't have that much time. So you can place an online order, and you can come pick it up, and you'll be out of the store in 2-3 minutes. So downstairs that's where those transactions happen at. Upstairs is for the person that wants to do a little more shopping and check out a little bit more of the things that we have. But for the most part, people already know what they want before they get there.
Would your former self, 10 years ago, believe that you would be in this position where you at right now?
I didn't believe that I would be in this position with cannabis, but I did believe that I'd be in this position doing some type of other entrepreneurship. I really did. I just didn't know what then. But I knew that eventually something would come along and I would figure it out, and it did. So I did think I would be in this position.
You said something that struck me before we started the interview, and I guess it's the psychological component of the legacy side. Now you have, what do you call this side? The legal side?
Regulated side.
The regulated side. Mm-hmm. How do you operate in that space? Because there's a side of you that operated where under secrecy, right? Everything had to be hush hush. Now this is legal, right? You know what I mean? How do you operate? Even the first interview that we did, you was just I can't believe I'm talking openly about this.
Absolutely.
So how did you come to terms with where you are now?
I started to realize that a lot of people were watching me and they needed to hear what I had to say, because I was a pioneer too. I'm probably the first legacy operator in the state. So, guys from Newark, guys from Patterson, guys from East Orange, these cities that look like us, were calling me I want to get in this space. And that's when I knew that my voice needs to be heard a little louder, and I need to not be so, because they're afraid of these things too. So somebody has to be the first one. Somebody has to be the one to talk about, what we used to do compared to what we're going to be doing now.
To be the face.
Yeah. I took that on. That's a big responsibility. I still to this day, guys, I'd be like, Atlantic City, who is this? They'd be like, yo, what's good? You know what I mean? Now I already from the first word you say, yo, what's good? I already know. What's up, Pac-Man? I already know. Okay, this is one of my people's. So it goes back to those MSOs. It's now I got so many people in this space. Now it's 268 dispensaries in the state. I'm not the only legacy to legal operator no more. So now it's we are a group, we formed groups together, hey, listen, I don't need all that product from those people, but they got to order minimum of $10,000. How about you take 5 and I take 5? We split it down the middle. Cool.
And you also have Raekwon. Didn't he open up a dispensary out in Newark?
Yeah, and see, that's the hard part, because Raekwon and them are now closed. They didn't, that first 6 months. Yeah, the first 6 months is serious. They had to close down. It was so many pop-up shops, and that's the inner city. That's what happens in the inner city. Is so many other different things that are going on, and I understand that. At first, it was kind of I felt why don't they, do something? I had to go through all this to get here to sell cannabis, but people around the corner, up the street, down the block, wherever they're at, and they sell them, and they didn't have to do anything. They don't have to pay these $5,000 license fees to the city every year. They don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to do insurance. They don't have to do any of these things. But they're doing just as well. They're doing the same thing I'm doing, So they were kind of victims of that. Actually, where they were located, there was pop-up shops on the left and on the right side of them that really did really well, that people still go there and shop, and they were not coming to the regulated dispensaries. So it drowned them out, and they had to close their doors maybe about 4 or 5 months ago.
I did not know that. If someone is interested in following your footsteps, what advice would you give them?
First things first, it doesn't happen overnight. As much as you say, oh, I've been selling weed all my life, I want to have a dispensary in 6 months. It's probably not the case. Take your time, do your due diligence, reach out to me. especially if you're a Trenton resident. I started a Jade project where I'm trying to help people that come from that legacy side to get into the industry, whether it's manufacturing, cultivation, delivery, whatever. There's so many different licenses that you can obtain in this space. Reach out to me. Do your due diligence. Find out. Go to your local town, city meetings. That's key. That's the number one key. Find out what the city allows and what the city doesn't allow. Those would be my first steps if you were looking to do something.
And how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Moja Life 420, LinkedIn, John Dockery, Instagram, Pac-Man 609. You can come down to the shop. I'm down there. I'm here. It's not too many times you're going to see a CEO when you walk in the door. He's going to take your ID and check you in. I'm here. I could be touched.
I'm curious about that robot.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll bring him out one day. You come by there, I'll show you. But yeah, I'm an open book. I'm here for the people. I'm here for a change. I can't just do it for myself if I don't want it. What I want for myself, I want for my brother. So for me, it's like, how many people can I help? You know what I mean? That are serious. I'm all about that.
You said that we were your first interview, but since then you've done a lot of press.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Is there a question that someone hasn't asked you that you would like to be asked in terms of operating in the cannabis space?
No, I've been asked so many
Everything?
questions. Yeah, I can't think of, not right now, not off the fly. I couldn't think of a question that I haven't been asked. I've been asked some questions I kind of did like this about, and some questions I'm like, that's a great question, but not offhand. I can't think of a question that I haven't answered.
Well, listen, I appreciate you for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Right.
And my first interview, and life is full circle, you know what I mean? So I appreciate what you do for the city. I appreciate what you do for the town. I appreciate how you reach the people. I constantly see your articles on Newsbreak. I'm always on Newsbreak, and I appreciate what you do for the city.
That means a lot. And then you taught me something I didn't even realize it, but that area, that corridor is sort of like Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. We stand on it, man. We lean on each other. We have openings, whether we have events, whether we're all. I'm doing a Christmas drive this year. You know what I mean? I promise you, they all pitch in. Whether it's hot chocolate, whether it's cupcakes, whether it's, you know what I mean. Even when I was doing, not too good in my first 6 months, hey, let me do some reels for you. Hey, let's do this event over here for you. Let me post you on my social media. let me.
It's community.
It's community, yeah, man. We're a family. It's more than a community.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, John.
I appreciate you.